Colossians 3:17.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 17.
Giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let's read it.
And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to Yahweh by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushai.
Right, so all that we say and do is going to be in the name of the anointed Savior. Go to Matthew 7:24.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 24.
Right.
Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, who has built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat up upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock.
That's right. See? He said, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of Mashiach Yahushai, who is the word of the Most High, and doeth them. You see? It's about doing it. Not just hearing it, but you got to do it. I will liken him unto a wise man. This is how you be wise. Which built his house upon a rock. Right? So you build a house upon a rock. That's the foundation. That rock. Put that slab of cement down, right? No matter how far you go down, that slab of cement going to start it, right? Okay, go ahead.
Verse 26. And every man that heareth these sayings of mine.
Everyone.
And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them not, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it.
See? Now, someone that hear these sayings of a Mashiach Yahushua, who comes to the volume of the book, who is the word of the Most High, and they don't want to do them, they want to do their own thing, shall be likened to a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. The foundation is sand instead of rock, right? And the rain descended, rain came, and the floods came, the water came, and the winds blew. The water came in and the wind blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. See? Read.
And it came to pass, when Hamashiach Yahushai had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine. For he taught them as one having authority, and not as the scribes.
That's right. So he taught, Hamashiach Yahushai taught as one that have an authority, and not as the scribes. He was powerful. You see what I'm saying? But then when you look at building your house upon the rock, even in a relationship, man, it's a building of your house when you're together. To be what? One. Get 1 Corinthians 10:4.
First Corinthians 10:4. And did all drink the same spiritual drink? For they drink of that spiritual rock that followed them. And that rock was Hamashiach Yahushua.
Right. That rock was Hamashiach Yahushua. He was right there with them, with us, the children of Israel. And he is the foundation that everything should be built upon. You see, that's why Hamashiach Yahushua said, give 1 Corinthians 1 and 10.
1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians 1 and 10.
First Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua, that ye all speak the same thing.
So he said we all supposed to speak the same thing. Now, the brothers got to speak the same thing. And once we learn what we learn, we got to make sure that we teach our women to know this, that we got to speak the same thing. They have to know, because it's hard if you dealing with, you speaking something and somebody speaking something different.
Right.
That's why he said, go ahead, read on.
And that there be no divisions among you.
So the division comes when there is a difference between what it is that you know as being the truth, and in the truth, following the laws of the Most High, and those that say, okay, well, there's a compromise here, because you're dealing with a Christian type of mindset. Even you have Christian Israelites. You have, you know what I mean? Well, I say that because they're coming from the church and they still holding on to what they had in the church, and they still want to be Israel, but they still looking at, well, I already knew that. I knew, trying to, compare it instead of starting all over again and really looking at learning from the spirit that the Most High has brought in the earth today. You know what I mean? You have to let it go, and just start all over again. That's hard. Why? Because people have what? Pride. They have a lot of pride. And with pride, you can't have love. You can't really have love. When you see pride, then that cancels out the love. Because you can't keep the commandments with pride. You can't. Something you're going to find that you do not agree with. And it ain't on the messenger, it's on the Most High that you got a problem with. You see? And who's coming in to have you have that pride? Satan. That's right. You're dealing with the Most High. But on the left side.
Right.
You see? That's why I say, hey, there'll be no divisions among you. So we don't supposed to be divided. That's why we got to learn it, live it, and apply it in our life. B.
But that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment.
See? That we be perfectly joined together in the same mind and the same judgment. So it's no different. It's even deeper when you look at a marriage, coming together with your woman or being together with your woman, because if you're not in the same mind, same judgment, then she going to do something off or you going to do something that's off. You know what I mean? But you roll in the spirit, you want her to submit to you, so she will be on point with you being on point. And if she's off, then you got to correct her. But she got to be able to know how to take correction. That's another thing. You see what I'm saying? Because you're right. But if you're right and you know you're right, certain things you know you're right, and then because it comes out, oh, I see what you're saying. After the fact. Well, I see what you're saying. They didn't see it initially, so it's division. That's division. Here comes Satan in. Bam. Then all of a sudden, whoop, they see what you're saying eventually. Come back, oh, I see what you were saying, But that pride wouldn't allow them to see initially. That's all it is pride. That's all it is. Because and then you're looking at building such a strong relationship when everything is as the Most High says should be. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be all these problems if the woman realized what her role was, and the man will realize what his role is in being the man, and she be the woman, and you work together. And then you look at it. Don't stop a lot of things. It just add on that you'll see you be more blessed instead of dealing with this division, letting Satan come in there and be divided. You be more blessed if you coming together rather than. That's what he's saying. As we come together. That will be in this Shema Mashiach Yahushua. That's Mashiach Yahushua going to the Most High on our behalf. Everything we say is going to the Most High. He can look at us. He can look at us personally, because no man comes to the Father but through Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Right. So everything we saying, and you operate in that aspect, then you gotta. That should make you say, "Whoa, I gotta watch it," because the Most High gonna deal with me, unless you ain't afraid of it. Unless you got some other entity that worked for you better than the Most High. And what could that be? He's everything. He's everything, right? So we can't be, when you don't speak the same thing, Bahashema Mashiach Yahushua, then you can't be in the same mind, in the same judgment. Read on.
For it hath been declared unto me of you, my brother, by them which are of the house of Cleo, that there are contentions among you.
See, contentions. That's what happened. That's what you were saying, you know. A lot of contentions in these relationships and so forth. Contentions among brothers, contentions among go home and they take it out on their woman or whatever. They having problems from the job, go to the job. They got to deal with all this madness or whatever it is in the world. And you come home, it's supposed to be peaceful. Your house is supposed to be peace. Especially for us as Israelite men, you know what I mean?
That's supposed to be a refuge.
Yeah. Somewhere you can go to, right? To feel, you know, hey, well, this is powerful. I got, you know, at least go home, I'm going to feel good. Then you got to start your day the next day and go through whatever you're going through. Because a lot of people have jobs that's not, they're not pleasing. You know what I mean? So, and just trying to make it. That's why it says contentions. You have contention in the spirit, and it's wrong. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Now this I say, that every one of you said, I am Paul.
I am of Paul.
I am of Paul.
Yeah, every one of you say, I am of Paul. Read.
And I of Apollos.
I am of Apollos. And that's what men are doing today, you know. I'm of this camp, or I'm of this leader and that leader, this, that, and the third. Go ahead.
And I of Cephas. And I of Hamashiach Yahushua.
Yeah, the last one was what? I of Mashiach. Because who are we? Mashiachim. We Christ. And Mashiach is the Most High, as it says in 1 Corinthians 3 and 23. But this is where he at initially, before he even got to, 1 Corinthians 3:23. But he's breaking it down. Some say they are Mashiachim. Go ahead.
Is Hamashiach Yahushua divided?
Is Hamashiach Yahushua divided? Read.
Was Paul crucified for you?
Was Paul crucified for us? Or your leader, whoever you believe in, was he crucified for you? Or whoever it is that you exalt more than the Most High have highly exalted the Mashiach Yahushua. Read.
Or were you baptized in the name of Paul?
Were you baptized in the name of whoever it is you believe in? A lot of times tensions are because you have people that's dealing with whoever it is that they compare you to. A lot of times it be contentious because they're comparing you to something or something in their mind.
Right, exactly.
They did this. Why we not doing this or whatever? Playing the Joneses or whatever. Yes.
It's like when I say, I used to say, about the Sabbath. And mom used to say, oh, you sound like Jehovah's Witness.
See?
Don't even just like trying to associate something.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Won't even take the time to know.
Right.
But just trying to come up with some analysis of that's contention. Really, because contention, because we ain't dealing with it. We ain't not dealing with that. Read.
I thank the Most High that I baptized none of you.
Hear what he says? I thank the Most High. I ain't baptized none of you. You wicked Israelites. I ain't baptized none of you. Read.
But Crispus and Gaius.
Go ahead.
Lest any should say that I had baptized in my own name.
See? Because some say, hey, I'm a Paul. Like right now, a lot of people say they go by Paul's writings. They don't understand them. Because he went to the Gentiles. But we going to the Gentiles
Right, exactly.
when we go to Israel, because they have a Gentile state of mind. Their mind's been polluted with the mindset of the Gentiles and have them think, the way they would have us think. They're always plotting of how they're going to come through to deal with what? The youth. The youth. There's always something they plot to deal with the youth. And by the time they get them at a certain age, they want them to be a certain way in thinking. That's why we got to counteract that with this word, man. The word of the Most High. Those that's going to really hear, and they grow up now, they got to apply this in their life. Build that foundation upon that rock.
And the thing is they have help with the people, our people who's still in that mind, to help them push that agenda along.
Right.
They're right there.
They're right there, yeah.
You're in school, then you go home, you get the same thing. And the people who don't have it.
That's like you said, that teacher, he gonna tell the students,
Right.
I know my rights. They don't know any rights. They know the right to die. Right now, that's all they do is put them to death, man. I mean, you keep that to yourself. That's why I say everything is not to be revealed.
Right.
Closed mouth keep you alive.
That's select for you to pull aside. Hey, this is how you do it, brother.
Yeah.
Talk to the man, but trying to
That's not gonna work, man, because
then you can get brought up on charges. Talking like that, it's crazy.
that's right. And that's what we're looking at, a lot of things that will keep us from what we're supposed to be doing. Get Matthew 6 and 33.
Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High.
See, what did he say do?
Seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High.
See, that's what we got to seek first. The kingdom of the Most High, man. But are you together seeking the kingdom of the Most High? You want to make it, but do she want to make it? Or do you have your way to make it, and does she have her way to make it, and it don't coincide? You see what I'm saying? Because you're looking at what it is that's written here with understanding. And as a man, not necessarily talking to you, but a man's supposed to be looking at learning this so they can teach their woman. And she can sit there to learn. She can learn. Teach the children. And teach other children. Other women. I mean, that in itself is a big job. That most women, they learn this. Next thing you know, they going against men. And you got all these women out here, these young girls doing all kind of madness. They into all kind of stuff.
It's interesting. They are teaching the children. But wickedness, they're teaching them. But the wickedness.
Yeah.
You know how to do the little dance thing, teach them how to do that stuff. But just imagine, flip that, that's powerful. You flip it, you do this,
Yeah.
man, that's powerful. But
It's going to happen. It's happening now.
Right.
Dude, those women that do have children and teaching them, because there's a lot of women they got to play both roles. They're the only ones in the household, A lot of cats, man, they ain't really, they ain't right, man. They not infidels. They ain't right, man. Read that again.
Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
That's right. You got to seek the kingdom of the Most High first and foremost. And all these things shall be added unto you. Read.
Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
That's what he's telling you, man. He said, don't even be thinking about what's going to happen to the next day. But you got to deal with the day of evil that you in every day. That day. You know what I mean? Because let you know tomorrow the evil gonna be there too. Gonna be right there. Just turn on. Right, what we do? We turn on the television, and you see all the evil that's happening. I mean, I was turning on the TV today, man. I was like, wow, news. I like to watch the news, right? Man, all kind of crazy stuff. Get Luke 17 and 20.
Luke chapter 17, verse 20. And when he was demanded of the Pharisees, when the kingdom of the Most High should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of the Most High cometh not with observation.
See, the kingdom of the Most High come not with observation. Meaning you ain't going to say it's over here, it's over there. Kingdom of heaven is here. Look, the kingdom of heaven is here. Or the kingdom of heaven is over there. It's over here. It's over there. Listen what he said. Read.
Neither shall they say, lo here, or lo there. For, behold, the kingdom of the Most High is within you.
See, the kingdom of the Most High is within us. Now, what's in us? Now you got to examine what's in us. What's in the man? What's in the woman? Is the kingdom of heaven within them? Do you really have the keys of what it's saying here as far as the kingdom of heaven being within you? Or is it just an outward show? Because it's what's in you that matters. Both man and woman. You see what I'm saying? But you got to be together with the orders of the Most High, the commandments of the Most High. Or you're wasting your time. Look at go to Genesis 3. Genesis, the 2nd chapter. I want you to read start at verse 18.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And the Most High said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him.
So he's going to make a helpmate. See, it says he's going to make Adam a helpmate. See, now, this world, the man got to be, they teaching that the man supposed to be a helpmate for the woman. He got to be able to do everything for the woman. To have a woman, then you got to be able to take care of her. You got to be a helpmate for the woman. Help me for the woman, really, seriously. Go ahead, read on.
And out of the ground, the Most High formed every beast of the field, and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them.
Right, so Adam has a job. I mean, Adam has a job, so what he's doing, Most High gave Adam a job to name everything. Whatever he named them, that's what it was called. Go ahead.
To see, and whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof.
Right. So Adam is out here looking at all these. Do you understand the creation of the Most High? Creatures, butterflies. I mean, everything is a creature to the Most High. We're creatures. You see what I'm saying? So he around here looking at everything and naming them. This is butterfly. You know? There's a certain type of butterflies, and That's the sheep. You know. Naming everything. Everything he's naming. That's his job. Go ahead.
And Adam gave name to all cattle, and to all the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him.
See? For Adam, there wasn't a woman for him. There wasn't a help. He done said to me, the Most High speak once, yea, twice, man, perceive it not. He done said it again. Read that part again.
And Adam gave names to all the cattle, and Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him.
See that? Read verse 18. What did he say?
And the Most High said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him.
See? It says, not good that man should be alone. I will make a helpmate for the man. Now he said the same thing in the last part of 20. But for Adam, there was not found an helpmeet for him. There was no one that was there, no woman there to help Adam in what he had to do. Read.
And the Most High, while Mashiach caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Most High, while Mashiach had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh.
Right. Meaning of his lineage, of his people. His people, that's what that means. Bone of my bone, and flesh of my flesh. That means she was of his people. It was people called Adamites. She was of his people. Go ahead.
She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man.
She's going to be called woman because she was taken out of man. Like everyone's really taken out of man. You know. But a lot of people don't understand that. Because we fill our stomach with what? Children. With the seed of man. So without the seed of man fertilizing the egg of a woman, then there's no baby. You see? Go ahead.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
See? A man shall leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. There was a question that was asked on the internet about who was most important to the man, his wife, his daughter, or the baby mama. His wife, who's most important? His wife, his mom, his mother, his daughter, or the baby mama. Them four things. It was four things, yeah. His wife, his mom, his daughter, or the baby mama. So which was most important? Read that again. Verse 24.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
See? A man leave his father and his mother. He leave his father and his mother, and cleave unto his wife. So his wife take the place of who?
Mother.
Father and mother. Because he left both of them to cleave to his wife. Right? And they shall be one flesh. Now, you can't join together with your woman and y'all be the same. She jumping to you, you jumping to her. I ain't talking about sex and like that. I'm talking about spiritually. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? One flesh, meaning you're going to be in the same mind, in the same spirit, together as one, period. You see? So that's a great start of how relationships should be. In the same mind, I said in the spirit, you see how we got to speak the same thing, right? Should be no division among us.
Right.
But he said, I see there's contentions. Like you said, that's the question. He says contentions between the two. Why? Because we don't speak the same thing. And it's like the order is not there. The order of what he just said, you're going to see the order. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you go to the next chapter, in Genesis 3rd chapter, right? The serpent came to Eve, who was Satan, the devil, the serpent, the beast, the dragon, all of them the same. Esau, all of them had the same mindset to be able to bring about what needs to be dealt with and being deceitful and evil toward the people. Because if it's not the truth, it's what? It's a lie. And that's what he have done from birth. So it's like we understand the way it has been perpetrated in the world so that you won't think right, so you won't speak right, so you won't act right. You see what I'm saying? So here it is from the start. And you see what happened. Genesis 3 and 16.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband.
So this is one of the first commandments of authority and a judgment for not following the command. Because if you don't do what he say, that's like you don't follow orders, you don't follow rules and regulations, there's a judgment for that. This is the first time a commandment came out because of what Eve did. Read that again.
Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
You hear that? Her desire, woman's desire, should be toward her husband as he cleave into her, and the man shall rule over the woman. Right? But then how we in this world now, when you understand now, she knew, just like if you're teaching her, she's supposed to be wanting to know. So if she know what's right, but if there's division, she's not going to accept what's right because there's division. But you got to go back to where it came from. This is a start, and we in the end now. So we at the start, right? We at the start of when all this began. This division. But it's not, you look at a division in the household, but this division gets the Most High. Right. In the Mashiach Yahushua. He just gave the order. Is that a commandment or what? Did he say think about it? Well, maybe you can think about, sometimes you can let the man, your desire should be toward the man should rule over you. You can do that sometime, but it's not necessary you have to do it all the time. That's not what he said. And the reason why he said it, go up to verse 2 and 3. Because she knew the commandments. And Adam too, because Adam taught her. Verse 2 and 3.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High had said, ye shall not eat of it.
That's right. So that's the law right there. The Most High has said, ye shall not eat of it. Right? That's the tree of good and evil. And we all eating of that tree continually because they ate of it. And now here we are dealing with good and evil, where they were righteous. They can eat of the tree of life, but go ahead.
Neither shall ye touch it.
Neither shall you touch it. Read.
Lest ye die.
Lest ye die. But listen what this devil, the serpent, told her. Read.
And the serpent said unto the woman.
So the serpent is talking to the woman. He ain't laying down with the woman having sex like they try and say that's where Cain came from and so forth. He's talking to the woman. Read.
Ye shall not surely die.
That's the first lie told. Ye shall not surely die. When the Most High said, when you eat of the tree of good and evil, you're going to die. You ain't going to live one day, which is 1,000 years. The serpents came back and said, you shall not surely die. So the devil did what? Came back and did what? Lied to her. Right? Because he the wicked. Wicked, the evil side of the Most High. Go ahead.
For the Most High doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods.
There it is right there. You're going to be as powers. Read.
Knowing good and evil.
See, knowing good and evil. All we need to do is know righteousness. But now, you eat of this, you're going to be as gods. You're going to have all this power knowing good and evil. This is where it all started from. So, I'm here because you're looking at, a lot of people don't consider the fact that this is the beginning of our worlds. And now here we are now in 2015 thinking, oh, well, we can overcome what it is that this cat been mastered. You know, mastered, the serpent done mastered it by now. Mm-hmm. Right? He done mastered it. And here we are the last days, and we know the woman has been given power and so forth. It's just with that power, even with the man and woman, you got to be more humble. You got to get more humble. And they're not doing that. They're opposite. They got it and they get prideful. And they know this. They have lifted up the woman, our women, so that they can look down upon the man. And then when the man stand up and be a man, next thing you know, that's tension. That's contention between the household. So it's been created. So that, the main thing is so that we don't be together. We don't stay together. Because it starts with the household. If our families are divorcing each other all the time, getting, not dealing with each other, then how are we going to group together to build this nation? When you can't hold down the household. They hold down theirs. The majority of them holding theirs down. But here we are, our households are all divided. Because we are who we are. We're the children of Israel. Dysfunctional, right? So, listen what the woman did, Ray. He said, the Most High know that the day you eat thereof, of this tree of good and evil, when the Most High said, I don't want you to eat of that tree because all I want you to do is be righteous. Well, why the Most High have it there in the first place? What everybody say, you got your free will, right? Right. So you got a free will to be righteous. You got a free will to eat over here this evil, and it's going to destroy you. Going to make sure you die. So if you didn't eat of the tree, we'll do what? We live forever. And see, that's what we're going through. All we're going through to live forever. So I seek the kingdom of heaven, which is where? It's in us. What's in us? If we follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High and be justified in our faith in the Mashiach Yahushua, then the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua are going to make their abode in us. You see what I'm saying? It's in us. The kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua is in Israel. It's in us. We just have to know how to operate with it being in us. That's why he tells you got to follow the dietary laws, you eat the right things. So if they're in us and you sit up here eating pollutions and abominable foods, and he's in us, that's why I'm using analysis so you can really grasp what I'm saying. Okay, the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua is in our stomach. And we sit up and eat some dang on crawfish and catfish and lobster and all this stuff, and it's like, pig and drugs and cigarettes and whatever you can think of, you put it into your system, and they down there like, oh man, what are you doing? You throwing boo-boo, eating boo-boo. You might as well just go. You might as well just go and get some boo-boo and just eat it. Everything you eat boo-boo. Or that's why I say you destroy the temple of the Most High, which temple ye are. He's gonna destroy you. That's why we have to think about what's right and what's wrong now. Where we didn't have to think before she did this. We didn't have to think about what's wrong. Because it tells you, look at the last verse of Genesis 2.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
Yeah. See, it wasn't ashamed. It wasn't ashamed. It was righteous. Exposed to everything, but they were not ashamed of all the whatever was going on and where they at being different. So that's where we're at. We different. Supposed to be different than everybody else. Like people look at you like, why you look like that? Why you? They trying to figure you out. They trying to figure you out, right? Mm-hmm. They trying to figure out. No, something got to be with that cat. Something got to be with him. They got them fringes on that ribbon of blue. I see that all the time. There's got to be something to that. That's kind of different. I like that. You say, I like the way you look. I like that. There's something about it. It's spiritual. Something. Got the zeal of Most High, not according to knowledge, you see. So, what you going to be ashamed for? What you going to be ashamed for being righteous for? For be ashamed for doing what? Being wicked.
Right.
Being wicked. You ashamed for being wicked. That's why they wasn't ashamed. Whatever they were supposed to, whatever they want to bring to the table. Because it was in righteousness. But see, this is what happened. Verse 6.
3 and 6?
No, 3 and 6, yes.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. And when the women saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat.
Right, so that's why we die, because of what she just did. Until you go to Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, verse 25. Chapter 25 and 24.
Ecclesiastes chapter 25, verse 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all died.
See? Of the woman came the beginning of sin. We just read it. That was the beginning of sin. But the beginning of sin happened with what? What was the first thing Satan told the woman?
You're not going to die.
No. That wasn't the first thing. Remember, she had to tell him first. Oh, yeah, he did say that first. You're not going to die. That's the first lie that was told, right? Khan, you're right. Salakia. But what did he tell her as far as what she fell for? He said, you're not going to surely die, so that ain't, he said something else to it. Read verse 5.
The Most High doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
That was the key right there. He told her a lie. She believed that lie. That's the first lie told. And he said, you're going to open up your eyes, you will know good and evil. Remember, you could eat of the tree of life.
Right.
That was in the garden. But you couldn't eat of the tree of good and evil. You see? Go ahead.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat.
So it's no different than what's offered to our women today in the pride that they have and just to elevate them above the Israelite man in any way, shape, or form. To be able to say, you know, I'm going to set you up where you're going to be powerful and you have all these things you could do that you really not going to be able to have much time for the family. Like they have different job where they work certain hours where you can't really have the time for your children. You got to have money. You got like 3 to 11.
Right.
Come on, and your child you got to wake up in the morning. You might be able to get him off to school or her off to school, and they come home at 4. You don't get a chance to see them because you at work till 11. If you work that swing shift, you got how you going to raise them? So they got to be with somebody else. And you see them in the morning time, and that's what you're going to do. They waking up in the morning, you can't train them then.
Because you sleeping. Really
yeah, you sleeping. Or you got 12 to 8. You come home, they ready to go to school. If they haven't went already. Depending on what grade they're in. You see what I'm saying? So, it's just, but that's the world we're in. But you got to have that, you got to have money. But then you got to ask the Most High to be able to make it so that, you can still do what you have to do. To be able to have your responsibilities, to fulfill your responsibilities. You see what I'm saying? Because she was offered to be God's. You're going to be as God's, not just God, but as God's. Right? Now, and she took of it. Verse 6 again.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof.
See, when you look at how wise Adam already was, because Adam was going naming everything. So now it's about, okay, well, he knows something. I want to know something too. I want to be just as wise as him. So now, she ate of the tree of good and evil. What she says, pleasant to her eyes. She liked that wickedness out there. She liked the worldly things. That's what it's all about. She liked what's happening in the world. The world is like that. Oh, you're so different. So after she ate of it, then read what she did.
And gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
See, and gave also to her husband, and he did eat. So now, we already read the judgment to Eve in verse 16, verse 17 for the man.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife.
Uh-oh, stop. That's the first judgment he gave Adam. It's coming. But he told him, he said, hey, because you listened to the voice of your wife. Read.
And hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life.
See? That's the judgment you put upon them. The woman and the man. So, here we are trying to make it different. That's a judgment that he put upon us. Because Adam did what he did. Now, when you go to 1 Timothy, it's the second chapter. verse 8. Now, I look at start at verse 11.
1 Timothy.
1 Timothy 2 and 11.
1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
So it said, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Read.
But I suffer not a woman to teach.
And he was filled with the Holy Spirit. The word of the Most High. Go ahead.
Nor to exert authority over the man.
That's usurp.
Usurp.
Nor to usurp authority over the man. Read.
But be in silence.
But to be in
But
silence.
to be in silence.
Right. So it said, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Remember, the woman her desire got to be to her man. And he shall rule over her. That's why he said, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach. She can't teach men. She's not supposed to be trying to be over men. It says, nor to usurp authority over the man. So once a woman is in power, she's there in power, what is she doing? She's telling men what to do. She's going to tell men, you're going to end up telling a man what to do if you're in power. And it started right there with Eve. You're gonna be. That's what God said. You're gonna have powers. You see. So he says not to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. So to be in silence take humility. That's what scripture says. Study to be quiet. Well, you got to know. But it's not about canceling out her voice that she can't speak. Because they're very intelligent. So you got to use the intelligence of the woman. You just have to make the right decision. And when it comes down, that woman know that her desire should be to her husband. He shall rule over her. That's why he's going to go into this. Read. And we in the New Testament. Ain't nothing changed. Read.
For Adam was first formed, then.
See, for Adam was first formed, then Eve. The man was first formed, then the woman. Read.
And Adam was not deceived.
See, Adam was not deceived. Read.
But the woman.
But the woman. Read.
Being deceived was in the transgression.
But the woman being deceived was in the transgression. You hear who he went to. He didn't come to Adam with that. He got to the woman, and then the woman got to the man. I'm going to say it again. Satan got to the woman, then the woman got to the man. See, Adam wasn't deceived, but the woman being deceived, what did he tell her? You will not surely die. You're going to be as gods, doing good and evil. You're going to be just, and remember, Adam is doing what? He naming all the animals. He naming everything, every creature around. He working. This woman at home, with that idle time, here comes Satan. Here comes the serpent, coming in with that negative, that evil.
What they say? An idle mind is devil workshop?
Yeah, right. That's why. Now, Adam's out there doing this thing, coming back to this beautiful woman, Eve. No, she had to be bad. Now, Adam, I done ate of this tree. This looked pleasant to the eyes to me. And we ain't gonna really surely die. He said she fooled him. The woman she beguiled. It's the woman you gave me. But still excuse. No excuse, man. There's no excuses. Ain't no excuses with the Most High and Mashiach Yahushua. Ain't no excuses. But he came up with an excuse. He blamed it on her, but it's his fault. Just like it's our fault. If we know what's right and you allow the woman to come in and take you off your course, and the kingdom of heaven is taken away from you. They just part from you. And then send these unclean spirits into you. Because once they come in, they ain't in here. They ain't up in here, and the unclean spirit's still going to be there. Because you're going to be doing things that's wrong. So they making a bold in you and you all off and doing the things that's abominable. Else if they are, then they're going to tear your ass up, tear you up for real. You're going to really get jacked up. Because you brought them into your body, into your spirit. Everybody got a spirit, and Most High give it, Most High take it. So you got the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua, the Spirit of the Most High in you with your spirit. And here it is, you defiling, you doing the things that's contrary to what he said. You don't love him because he said, if you love me, do what? Keep my commandments. You can't say you love him and then you doing what's wrong and your whole mindset is off from what he's saying, how it should be. And like he said right here, he's going to tell you about what we just read about. Say, read verse 13.
For Adam was first formed, then Eve.
We just read it. Adam was first formed. The Most High made the man a what? Helpmate. And he said it twice. He did. He said it twice. Most High speak once, yea, twice. Man perceive it not. He said it twice. So I went over it twice and showed you that he said that twice. The woman is a helpmate. She's supposed to be helping the man. But now the man got to help the woman. Everything is contrary to where it was and it's supposed to be. That's why we're in the New Testament. Where you going to go from there? You can't go no further than that. You can't. After Revelation, you can't go nowhere, can you? Ain't nowhere to go. We're in the New Testament. What you want? It's the same thing. Let's read, but remember that judgment came down. Read.
And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
See, the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Read.
Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety.
That's right. Got to have that love, man, the love of the commandments. When you say you're going to save her in childbearing. If. That's a condition. That's a condition. You know, they continue in faith. Did it say she continue in faith? It said they continue in faith and charity, love, believing in the Most High and holiness with sobriety. You know, being focused on this word and not being no drunkard who always want to drink and all that stuff. Nah.
Or could it be like influence?
Influenced by what? The world. The world. I mean, you the enemy of the world. This world make you the enemy of the Most High. You become the enemy of the Most High. And the Mashiach Yahushua. Look at it's the same thing that he said to the Corinthians, who are Israelites that are predominantly living in the land of Corinth, but they have a Gentiles type of mind. The same thing is what we're dealing with our people today. They are Gentiles. A lot of them Gentiles, even though they call themselves Israelites still.
Right.
But read that.
What is it?
1 Corinthians 14. And start at verse 33 because it's very important that you hear what he said before he say this. But read that.
1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33.
Right.
For the Most High is not the author of confusion.
See, the Most High is not the author of confusion. He's not the author of confusion. And he's the author of this book that we read. He's the author. As he had holy men read, he had holy men write the Bible and were moved by the Holy Spirit. Go ahead.
Let your woman keep
No. Read the whole thing. Read verse 33 from the top.
For the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints.
Right, so the Most High said he's not the author of confusion. So in the spirit